Come on, John, you don't need a speeding ticket today. Wow, 45 years. Time sure flies when you're having fun. And here we are. Hi, I'm John Davis. Welcome to our celebration of the 45th anniversary of MotorWeek. And we're just getting started. So come drive with us next.
MotorWeek, 45 years steering you in the right direction.
MotorWeek is proudly sponsored by Auto Value and Bumper to Bumper, a nationwide network of stores and shops providing major brand auto and truck parts and service from coast to coast and in your local community. Service is the difference. We get it. Learn more at autovalue.com and bumpertobumper.com.
We're Tire Rack. We test tires and share our results. We stock over 1 million tires. We offer multiple installation options. We do this because we believe tires matter. TireRack.com.
It was in this very studio at Maryland Public Television that we taped our first episode in October of 1981. Little did I know then that this ride would last for 45 years. Now, our first test subject was a Ford Escort. It was their world car. It was also the best-selling car in America, and it still ranks 4th on Ford's all-time sales list. We'd love to take some of the credit for that success, but I doubt our fledgling show had that kind of impact. Not yet, anyway. So join me now for a look in our own rearview mirror, starting all the way back in 1978 when we did our pilot episode. The dying days of the big American land yacht, the dawn of the front-wheel drive revolution, and the start of a new television series about cars. Welcome to MotorWeek. I'm your host, John Davis, and I'm glad to have you with us. We got the green light for production in the summer of 1981, but with only 12 weeks to get on the air, the first challenge was finding the right people. To narrow it down, I looked in the parking lot to see what everyone drove. Based on that, Craig Singhas was an easy choice. He drove a Shelby Mustang. Joyce Braga, our first news reporter, drove a Porsche 924, so I knew she had the goods.
Here's how it works.
Even at these speeds, the Escort doesn't respond as well as we'd like. It took a slow 6 seconds. 5 or less would be better.
Those early shows were really a learning experience. We were all car enthusiasts, but we had never actually tested a car before.
Overall, handling was good.
We taught ourselves how to lay out a slalom and to measure braking. It was really just a matter of doing the test in a scientific fashion, but also making it look good for television. One shtick we used for years was to have a staffer act as the official timer, or to meet the car and collect the data from each braking run. This resulted in more than a few close calls as we also learned about track safety. Our first track was the seaplane ramp at Martin State Airport in Baltimore. And if you goofed up in the slalom, you could either go down the ramp towards the river or into a row of parked transit buses. Luckily, we soon found 7580 Dragaway, which became our local proving grounds for more than 30 years. Today, our home track remains in Maryland, Boonesboro's Mason-Dixon Dragway. We quickly added road courses to our repertoire, first at Summit Point in West Virginia, along with Virginia's Dominion Raceway and dozens of others. Of course, our annual pilgrimage to Roebling Road Raceway near Savannah, Georgia, is still a welcomed winter reprieve. Because the early episodes had no regular feature segments, we had the luxury of time to show details like the location of the spare tire, where to check the fluids, and also to have a little fun.
It makes for great fun that the U.S. ski team isn't planning to use this wagon as an ambulance.
As the cars became more sophisticated, so MotorWeek evolved to keep pace. By season 6, we began to feel boxed in and moved the show outside, where the highways and byways of the world became our backdrop.
We went to challenging wobbling road race.
We were mounting point-of-view cameras on cars 15 years before GoPros were even invented. Now with DSLRs, drones, and even cell phones capable of 4K video, the creative possibilities are limitless. And above all else, I've been surrounded by top-notch professionals behind the scenes. We've never had a big Hollywood budget or a cast of hundreds, but that never slowed us down. Hey, Greg.
What's up, JD?
Dave, Kyle.
Hey, John.
Boy, looks like you guys are hard at work cranking out another road test. I sure hope the weather doesn't turn on you.
Honestly, even if it does, you know we'll still be out here.
I don't think our fans have any idea the enormous amount of effort that goes into producing one of these.
Well, why don't we just show them? Just about every MotorWeek episode starts and ends with a road test. Each one a 5 to 6 minute culmination of 2 weeks worth of driving, shooting, writing, and editing. And it all starts with a simple walk around. Here, our road test writer Brian takes meticulous notes about every feature and option on the car to reference later when he writes the script. From there, it's time to roll tape. Digitally, that is, since we stopped using analog media around season 30. First up, interiors. For these, we use Maryland Public Television's state-of-the-art production studio. Well, the wall of the studio anyway. In the morning, it provides plenty of shade for nice, even lighting. Car tech has exploded in recent years. And with so many new features to cover, interiors easily takes us the longest to shoot. Sometimes we'll be out here 3, maybe 4 hours to get all the shots we need. For performance cars like this 911 GTS, we'll sometimes add a road course component to our test. Less than 2 hours from our Maryland studios, making the drive to Summit Point Motorsports Park in West Virginia is a 3-for-1 deal. We get on-road driving impressions, track impressions, and exterior shots all in one day. Like we always say, the cars are the stars, but it never hurts to have a picturesque background. And with that in mind, we try to pick a setting that suits each car.
Would you mind get out of the way?
Oh, sorry. The first rule of television is you can never have too much footage. While that may or may not be technically true, the point is it's better to have too much footage than too little. That means we get every angle of every car. And word to the wise, shoot the exteriors before the hot laps. Rubber and road tar do not clean off easy. Safety is always first, especially at the racetrack. And with 2, sometimes 3 cars out on the track at one time, it takes coordination. So we stay in contact with our videographers using radios and drivers with these flags. All right, track is going hot. As we speed around the track, we formulate impressions for our writers to use in the script. But the beauty of being a TV show is we get to use visuals to convey some things that just can't be put into words. That's where GoPros come in. Images from these cameras attached to the cars and even our helmets can provide as much insight as our words. Of course, it wouldn't be a MotorWeek road test without a trip to the drag strip for some instrumented testing. We bring just about every vehicle we test out here to Mason-Dixon Dragway, but regardless of what it is, our day always starts the same, by setting up cones. And lots of them. For efficiency's sake, we try to take at least 2 cars per trip to Mason-Dixon, and we basically run it like an assembly line. Once car 1 crosses the finish line, car 2 toes the start line, so on and so forth until we get all of our numbers and all of our shots. But before we can wrap road test production, we gotta hit the public roads. Capturing the perfect drive-by is a thing of beauty. These videographers have to pan, tilt, zoom, and keep the car in focus all at the same time. Yeah, we know autofocus exists, but it's like our transmissions. We prefer manual. We capture driving shots in a variety of ways. There's the traditional long lens cameras, which provide the quintessential MotorWeek drive-by. Then there's the drone, which, if you can believe, we've been using for a decade. And our newest addition, this pocket camera attached to a strut mount, provides the kind of images that once required a purpose-built camera car. Before the car leaves MotorWeek HQ, we need to shoot John's famous road test intro.
Stand-up day is an all-hands-on-deck affair, but you gotta make the boss look good, right?
Once production comes to a close, post-production starts. Footage is logged, scripts finalized, voiceovers recorded, and it all gets sent to our video editors for final assembly. Voila! Another MotorWeek road test is in the can, just in time to start the next one.
Giuseppe,
John,
how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Great to have you with us today.
Thank you for having me here.
Are you all set up and ready to go?
Yes, just getting ready for the next segment, Rust and Cures.
Well, I'm going to get out of your way.
Yeah, you're good.
Say, that lab coat looks awfully familiar. Excuse me, sir. Craig Singhas.
Hey, John.
What
good to
are
see
you doing here?
Well, I retired, and so I'm looking for something to do. I'm your new senior intern.
Well, we could use all the help we can get. Have you met Giuseppe?
How are you?
Really enjoy your work. I'll tell you what, on the very pilot of the show, I was the mechanic, but they needed someone to fill my shoes. They got Pat Goss, so you've got some really big shoes to fill.
Yeah, I sure do, and I'm gonna give it my best shot.
And we all miss Pat Goss.
You never want to see your battery looking like this, and if it does, you want to take care of it as soon as possible. Yesterday would be preferable.
The stern tone of his voice was unmistakable, and his favorite words of caution.
Well, don't do it. Old-fashioned booster cables, throw them away. Thicker is not better.
Well, they became catchphrases to live by for millions of MotorWeek viewers. Pat appeared in our very first broadcast with a primer on oil changes and anchored MotorWeek's Goss's Garage Car Care segments for the next 41 years. Pat Goss did for car repair what Bob Vila did for home restoration. With his trusty welding rod pointer in hand, he demystified the inner workings of cars, empowered do-it-yourselfers, and taught us all how to maximize our miles per dollar. In fact, that idea of know it yourself if you couldn't do it yourself was a common thread in all of the Goss's Garage segments.
Checking them is very easy. You can even do it yourself with a few simple tools and so on.
With a flair for the dramatic and an eye for the unconventional, Pat always came up with new and interesting ways to make a point. He understood the TV medium, the need for good visuals and solid information, and that's what made his MotorWeek segments so memorable. For those of us who had the privilege of working with Pat over those 4 decades, a day in the studio was never boring.
Gives better fuel economy, better performance, and something. Anyway, and if you have a question or a comment, please write to me.
Pat had camera presence, perfect timing, a great sense of humor, and a passion for learning. He always wanted to leave the audience with 1 or 2 ahas or I didn't know that's after every segment. And he certainly accomplished that 1,000 times over. Thanks for everything, Pat. You will be missed, but never, ever forgotten. Hi. Hi, I'm John. Here we go.
And action.
Hi, I'm
you
John
stopped
Davis.
too soon.
Can't get this right. How many times have we got to do this?
till we get it right.
Hi, I'm John Davis. Hi, Kippa.
Beautiful.
The open road and a set of...
So what are your feelings at this time?
I'm gonna throw up.
I'm the pilot. I like the way it drove. I'm getting it! Come on!
Used to believe
Don't roll on this until the sun comes back out, okay?
And as you can see, when I tilt the back of this...
Please, no!
And could make your car something. I don't know.
See what new models these fit. One more time, then I'm gonna quit. You know, tired. Yeah, well, I guess I'm not gonna quit.
I know you guys know how that's a lot of baloney.
Where the sun runs on cars. Now, John Davis, we'll see you then.
Interesting piece of equipment for...
Why, hello and welcome again to MotorWeek. It's glad to have you, Moo. Get along, little doggy. Oh God, where is this going to end up?
Dealers complain that the lack of the bad.
There's plenty left to cover, brother.
It's got past me. Somebody's in a hurry.
To know before you replace all those worn out tires.
And as you can see, this is another major setback in our careers, but we'll carry on anyway.
Hey, Stephanie, where in the world are you off to?
Hey, John, we're heading out for our next FYI shoot, going overseas. Hopefully the weather's good.
It makes driving so much more enjoyable. One Viper trip, we were driving through France, these small villages. The car was so audacious. When we went through, we were instant celebrity.
That sounds incredible. I am so grateful for all the amazing...
Excuse me,
Lisa?
did someone say travel?
Lisa Barrow. Hey, it looks like you rode your bike in.
I did ride my bike in.
Perfect timing. We were just talking about some great MotorWeek memories, and I know you've got more than a few.
I actually do, and the ones that stand out to me are when I covered the Motorcycle Safety Foundation, and I covered it as a reporter, but then I went back and actually got certification, and now I ride my motorcycle all over the world.
I love that. It's amazing that one single MotorWeek story inspired a lifelong passion for adventure. I've been talking to a couple of MotorWeek staffers, and it seems like everyone has a favorite car or a trip story to tell.
The Subaru Impreza 22B. We had driven the WRX and the STI and been really impressed, but that car took it to a whole nother level. In fact, that was the only time we've ever used the word supercar to refer to a Subaru.
It's been an absolute dream come true to drive so many amazing cars doing the Tire Track segment, and if I had to pick one, I want to say Countach, I really do, but I think it's the Lotus Esprit Turbo. It was so much fun. It was easy to drive, it was fast enough, it was comfortable.
And that's it for this week's Motor News. My most memorable moment was in 2023 when Bentley invited me to participate in the Goodwood Festival of Speed in England. What an honor and an incredible experience. So I was a passenger in a bespoke and powerful $2 million Bentley Batour, and we participated in the iconic Goodwood Hill Climb, which is just an incredible ride. At first, I was a little bit nervous because I had never done anything like this before, and I had the best time. I think my face does everything.
That was awesome.
I've always had a love of license plates ever since I was a little kid growing up in Miami, Florida. So when this opportunity to do a segment on the Automobile License Plate Collectors Association annual convention, I jumped at the chance. And the fact that somebody would come from all the way around the other part of the globe, and they were looking for a particular license plate, just to find that at an annual convention was absolutely fascinating to me.
Every year I would go to Vegas with Lisa Barrow to shoot SEMA, the aftermarket automotive product show. And the one year we used an Elvis impersonator for a little shtick piece. So once we got all the products shot, we had Elvis follow us around. He pulled up in a Cadillac, and then he left in a Cadillac. And I actually got the guy at the convention center to go on the PA system to announce that Elvis had just left the building.
I grew up as a kid in the era of Shelbys and Cobras. So when I finally got to meet Carroll Shelby, I was stunned. It was like if you were a baseball fan and you got to hang out with Babe Ruth. It was a genuine thrill. So yeah, without a doubt, that's probably the biggest memory of so many wonderful years with MotorWeek.
Now, we can't wrap up this scenic drive down memory lane without looking back at some of the cars that really are the stars of MotorWeek. Now, one of the biggest trends that we've witnessed over 45 years is the coming of age of SUVs. And you could say it all started with the XJ Jeep Cherokee. And driving it in this morning took me back to those simpler days when the lines between truck, car, and station wagon weren't so blurry. And we certainly have to include the original Dodge Caravan and Plymouth Voyager, which created a new genre of garageable people movers called the minivan. In their heyday of Y2K, 1.3 million minivans were sold, and families could choose among 16 different models from 12 brands. 25 years later, the minivan still soldiers on. A global icon arrived on our lot in Season 5. The Citroën 2 Chevaux was a comically quirky throwback to us even in the 1980s, but its ingenious design spanned 4 decades. More than 9 million were sold. Along with the VW Beetle and Fiat 500, the 2CV put Europe on skinny wheels after World War II, and that's no joke. It was the mid-'80s when Ford showed that an American car maker could design a modern front-wheel drive family sedan with stylish appeal, the Ford Taurus. It saved the company and set the design cues for all the Toyota Camrys, Honda Accords, and countless other mid-size four-doors that followed. At almost the same time, Honda kicked over the luxury apple cart with the Acura Legend, the first upscale Japanese nameplate to land on our shores. Nissan and Toyota soon followed with luxury brands of their own. Infiniti with the Q45 and Lexus with the world-beating LS sedan, which finally ends its run in 2026. This 5-speed Legend Coupe was and still is a hot ticket, and is still entertaining its original owner. How cool is that? Which brings us to performance. Every year we marvel at the latest evolution of some sports car or muscle machine and think surely we've reached the pinnacle of what a car can do. 1,000 horsepower is almost commonplace these days. So it's easy to forget that in 1987, the boldest, baddest American muscle car, the Buick G&X, was rated at just 276 horsepower, but it still looks menacing. Not far behind was a once humble front-drive Econobox massaged by a certain Texas snake charmer to become the Dodge Shelby Charger. Budget-friendly, focused performance never looked so good. The electric car was a novelty when we went on the air, but EVs are now firmly in the mainstream, and as polarizing as the brand may be, we think a tip of the hat is owed to Tesla. They made EVs appealing to trend-setting buyers and simultaneously deployed a nationwide charging network that the rest of the industry is still trying to catch up to. In fact, electric vehicles are spurring the development of technologies that will make all cars better in the future, and we can't wait to drive them all. Well, the studio clock says we're almost out of time, so you probably know what comes next. Well, that's our show. I hope you enjoyed it. And that goes for the entire 45 years of our automotive love affair. For myself and the staff and crew that brings you the last unbiased words and pictures on the automotive world week after week, thank you for driving with us.
To learn more about MotorWeek, television's original automotive magazine, visit pbs.org/MotorWeek.
The MotorWeek app, which includes our latest reviews and feature stories, is now available for mobile devices.
MotorWeek is proudly sponsored by Auto Value and Bumper to Bumper, a nationwide network of stores and shops providing major brand auto and truck parts and service from coast to coast and in your local community. Service is the difference. We get it. Learn more at autovalue.com and bumpertobumper.com.
We're Tire Rack. We test tires and share our results. We stock over 1 million tires. We offer multiple installation options. We do this because we believe tires matter. TireRack.com.
This program was produced by Maryland Public Television, which is solely responsible for its content.